Hat viel Blut verloren.
Get ready to step down the corridor of chaos. This scene is so perfect, every move seems so natural and raw. The 2003 masterpiece Oldboy didn't just give us an action sequence, it gave us a brutal and unbroken shot of survival that redefined how fight scenes are filmed. What makes it so legendary? Oldboy's hallway scene, a masterpiece and its own main character struggling through a story you wouldn't wish upon anyone. I'm talking about Oh Dae-soo and his iconic scene in Oldboy. It's one of the most intense and mind-blowing movies ever made. Directed by Park Chan-wook, this 2003 South Korean thriller is a roller coaster of mystery, action, and shocking twists. If you think you've seen revenge movies before, Oldboy takes things to a whole new level. Before we get started, let me warn you, there are going to be some spoilers here as we break down this whole movie and that one scene that left me, for one, absolutely stunned. The lead actor of the film is Choi Min-sik as Oh Dae-soo, a man who gets kidnapped and locked in a room for 15 years without any explanation. One day, out of nowhere, he's released and given some money and a phone, and told to find out why this happened to him. What follows is dark, disturbing, and emotional journey filled with shocking truths. This movie is filled with unforgettable scenes, but one that truly stands out is the hallway fight scene. It's definitely one of the best action sequences ever filmed. A raw, brutal, one-shot fight where Dae-soo takes on an entire gang with nothing but a hammer. It's gritty, it's painful, and completely realistic. But before we dive into it, let's go through everything that leads up to this moment, and if you want to stay up to date with all of my movie scene breakdowns, subscribe to the channel. The story starts in 1988 with Oh Dae-soo, a talkative businessman who gets drunk on his daughter's birthday. He gets arrested for causing trouble, but his best friend, Ju-hwan, bails him out. Ju-hwan calls Dae-soo's wife to inform her about the situation, but while they were talking, Dae-soo gets mysteriously kidnapped. He wakes up in a tiny windowless room that looks like a cheap hotel. He's completely alone with no idea who took him or why. He does have a TV which becomes his only way of keeping track of time. A few days later, while watching the news, Dae-soo learns something devastating. His wife has been murdered, and he is the prime suspect. People may think that he ran away after killing his wife, so no one is worriedly looking for him except the police. However, no one succeeds in rescuing Dae-soo, and he ends up spending the next several years trapped in this room. He eventually accepts his fate and starts preparing himself to face his kidnapper. Dae-soo believes that one day he will meet his kidnapper and take his revenge. He trains himself by shadowboxing, tattoos the years on his hand to keep count, and tries to stay sane. Every night, he eats the same dumplings, and every night he's drugged with gas and wakes up without knowing who put him in bed. Then, suddenly, after 15 years, he's released. He wakes up on a rooftop dressed in a suit with money, a phone, and no clue what's next. But one thing is clear, he definitely wants revenge. On the rooftop, Dae-soo saves a man from committing suicide and forces him to listen to his story. After that, Dae-soo leaves without consoling the poor man, who eventually jumps off the tall building. Dae-soo doesn't bother to look back because he has so much to do right now. He is completely lost in the real world. He hasn't seen people in years, doesn't know how anything works anymore, and has no idea where to even start. Suddenly, a random homeless guy comes up, gives him a phone and a wallet, so Dae-soo rushes to the nearest restaurant to have a meal. There, he meets a young and beautiful chef named Mi-do, who seems interested to know more about him. The phone he received was sent by the kidnapper who calls Dae-soo to make fun of his helplessness. In frustration, Dae-soo wishes to eat something lively, so Mi-do serves him a fresh, moving octopus. Guess what? He starts eating without any hesitation but collapses right after completing his meal. Mi-do willingly takes care of him and offers to help him in every way possible. Dae-soo can't resist Mi-do's beauty and starts spending more time with her. With Mi-do's help, Dae-soo succeeds in finding the whereabouts of his daughter. As she is adopted by a wealthy family, Dae-soo doesn't have to worry about her and he can solely focus on his revenge. To reach the kidnapper, Dae-soo needs to locate the place where he was kept for 15 years. As he was served the same dumplings every day, Dae-soo decides to find the restaurant where the dumplings were made. After testing hundreds of dumplings from different places, Dae-soo finally locates the restaurant and follows the delivery boy to track down his prison. It's a private prison where people pay to have others locked up. Here, Dae-soo meets the warden of the facility, who reveals that Dae-soo was imprisoned because he talks too much. Hearing this, Dae-soo gets extremely angry and starts pulling out the warden's teeth with a hammer. The warden calls the guards for help, but this leads us to one of the most legendary fight scenes in movie history. This scene is absolutely incredible. Its shot is one long take, meaning there are no cuts, no fancy tricks, just raw, brutal action. Dae-soo, armed with nothing but a hammer, steps into a narrow hallway full of enemies. They charge at him and he fights them off one by one using whatever he can, his fists, his hammer, and sheer determination. The lack of music and the blood-curdling sounds of combat literally immerse the audience in the brutality of this moment. What makes this fight scene so different from most other action movies is how real it feels. Dae-soo doesn't move like a martial arts expert in any way. He struggles, he gets tired, he gets stabbed in the back, but keeps going. It's messy, painful, and exhausting, but he refuses to stop. Another highlight is the smooth camera work that moves along with Dae-soo like a video game. To shoot this way, the film crew had to even take down walls of one of the hallways. Once this scene got famous, the film director, Chan-wook, came forward to talk about his efforts. From the lighting to the props used, everything was planned very carefully. For example, the guards were mostly holding long sticks because it balances the horizontal camera shot and also symbolizes the ancient war paintings where warriors are holding swords. It took 2 days and 15 takes to shoot this scene, but still, it wasn't perfect. To achieve the desired results, a little bit of VFX was used, but eventually we got the iconic fight scene. This scene influenced tons of movies and TV shows from Daredevil to John Wick. It provided that you don't need fast cuts and crazy stunts to make an amazing action sequence. Just a great idea and solid execution. But as awesome as this scene is, Dae-soo's journey is far from over. After surviving the hallway fight, Dae-soo gets treated by Mi-do, but he starts suspecting her too. Seeing Dae-soo's desperation, the kidnapper finally reveals his face, but Dae-soo can't recognize him at all. The kidnapper gives him 5 days to figure out the reason for his abduction. If Dae-soo can figure out the truth, the kidnapper will commit suicide, and if he doesn't, Mi-do will be killed by the kidnapper. After returning home, Dae-soo gets attacked by the warden who harassed Mi-do and also wants to torture Dae-soo. But the kidnapper doesn't want anyone to interrupt his plan, so he pays a hefty amount to let Dae-soo go. After getting back with Mi-do, Dae-soo finally accepts his feelings for her and the two spend a romantic night together. The next morning, Dae-soo realizes that a recorder is hidden inside of his shoes and the kidnapper has used this to keep eyes on him. After digging deeper into his past, Dae-soo remembers a moment from his high school days. He once saw a classmate, Lee Soo-ah, in a secret relationship with her own brother, Lee Woo-jin. Dae-soo, being the loudmouth, shared his secret with his best friend, Ju-won. The rumor spread and Soo-ah committed suicide. That's when it all makes sense. Lee Woo-jin is the kidnapper who's avenging his sister's death, but that's not the worst part. Once Dae-soo remembers everything, Woo-jin reveals the most horrifying part of his plan. Mi-do, the woman Dae-soo slept with, is actually his own daughter. Woo-jin used a hypnotist and waited 15 years to make Da-soo commit his sin. The last part of the revenge is telling everything to Mi-do, making her do the same thing Soo-ah did. Dae-soo starts begging Woo-jin not to do it, and to prove his loyalty, he cuts off his own tongue, symbolizing how his words ruined a life. Seeing this, Woo-jin gets satisfied with his revenge, kills himself, and leaves Dae-soo with the unbearable truth. In the final scene, Dae-soo goes to a hypnotist, begging her to erase his memory. She does, but as he embraces Mi-do, we see a flicker of doubt on his face. This shows that Dae-soo hasn't forgotten anything. As a punishment for his careless act, he must live with this memory of his sin. The film ends here, but the impact it created is going to last forever. We must say that Chan-wook's direction is brilliant. The movie is full of symbolism, dark humor, and unforgettable visuals. Every scene is carefully crafted, making it a must-watch for any movie lover. Each character is built perfectly too, and relates with ordinary human beings. Dae-soo is someone who was dying for time to go faster so he can escape from prison, while Woo-jin is someone who is stuck in the past. He never moved on from the moment when his sister died. He didn't want to live without her, but he waited 15 years just to take his revenge. The film also has a strong moral message that warns us to be careful of what we tell others. If Dae-soo had respected Soo-ah's secret and kept his mouth shut, he would probably be living a peaceful life with his family. Moreover, the film also proves that truth doesn't always set you free. As we can see, Dae-soo was impatient to find his kidnapper and the reason for his abduction. He believed that the truth would give him peace, but little did he know that the truth was actually going to destroy the rest of his life. So, have you seen Oldboy? What was your reaction to the hallway fight scene and the shocking twist? Let's talk about it down in the comments.